What is going on, YouTube? Thanks for joining us here on the Tilted Top. And today we are talking about Anthony Mackie's new movie, Outside the Wire, and why you should cancel your Netflix subscription. Take it away, Sean.
In the near future, a drone pilot sent into a war zone finds himself paired with a top secret android officer on a mission to stop a nuclear attack.
Right. So, based on that, I mean, it sounds pretty cool to me, right?
Based on that, it sounds decent. I was a little skeptical coming into the Netflix original movies. And I feel like this movie solidifies why I should be skeptical going into these Netflix original movies.
I can't even think of the last time I liked a Netflix original movie. It's like you go in knowing that it's going to be a little worse than everywhere else.
Most
of
of
it's
them,
a
yeah.
comedy, but it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
In action, it's going to be worse.
Yeah, I mean they've had a couple, like The Irishman, like they've had a couple that were pretty dang good, but like
Yeah, who's approving
90% of them are just
I want to know who's approving these scripts.
it's like they approve anything. It's like
Yeah,
hey,
I think
we need content because all the major studios are all starting their own streaming services. So let's just get as much crap out there as we can.
yeah, but for this movie, I think they had a decent director. I mean, looking at his stuff, he hasn't done an astronomical amount. I know what is his name? His name's Michael Halfstrom. I'm pronouncing that terrible, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But he did where was it? 1408. And other random shows.
I like
and
1408. That's a decent
I
movie.
like Yeah, I thought it was good too. So his directing skills were good, and I have no complaints about that when it comes to this movie.
Yeah.
It's just the writing, which was done by a guy named Rob. Was it Yescombe? And he does a lot of video game writing. Like he wrote Hades, Crisis 2.
Does he?
Rambo the video game. Like I'm looking at it right now. The Division.
Well, what's funny about that is, basically, I told Anna, I'm like, this movie felt like a long cutscene in a video game.
Well, that makes perfect sense now. He's a video game guy, and he wrote the entire thing.
That's the best way I was able to describe this movie to people. That it felt like I was watching like a Call of Duty cutscene for 2 hours.
Yeah. This would actually have made a decent game.
It would have.
Better. I mean, the idea about it, I'm like, okay. But so I don't remember what year this was set in, but it's in the future.
It's not that far in the future. I thought it said like 2036 or something.
Yeah, but I think they were so inconsistent with the technology we had. It's like we had regular guns, regular everything, and all of a sudden we have these military droids called Gumps, and they're just so technologically advanced. Then we have Anthony Mackie's character, which I think his name's Leo. Let me look it up.
Yeah, Leo.
Yeah, Leo, which is just an amazing android technology-wise.
Oh, yeah.
And everything else is just normal. We just have regular drones. We got regular missiles, regular armor. And it's like, I don't feel like I'm in the future.
Yeah, it was like he was sent from the further future. That's like kind of what it seemed like.
He had patches that healed himself. He had all this stuff. He had a fail safe that could blow him up or disable him. All these things. But the world around it didn't seem like this was much in the future. And then also they're highlighting what's going on today in the world, because Russia and Ukraine are going through some shit right now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to believe that they're still going through all this, in the future.
15 years from now?
Yeah, I would think, one of Russia would have, took what it wanted, or Ukraine would have got the help. It just, it didn't make sense as far as technology in the time.
There was a lot of this movie didn't make sense. I mean,
like what part? Or throw some examples.
I mean, just stuff like figuring out why they would choose to send this kid with him. Like the whole plot was just a little convoluted, and a lot of conveniences were thrown in there
Yep.
to make the story go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I thought the movie was about something totally different in the beginning, when uh, the rookie or the new guy, the drone pilot, Harp, when he disobeys orders and he fires a missile when he shouldn't. Now I don't know Air Force policy or anything like that, but they made it sound like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's like, oh, you disobeyed and blew up, all these people and things. And then I thought it was going to be about his punishment throughout this whole movie. And
I
then it wasn't even that.
No, it wasn't. And his redemption arc, I did not buy it. Like it did not hit with me at all because just the way that I don't know, his character wasn't very well written. The way that he talked
Yeah.
back to every single commanding officer, and it all seems so just unplausible the way everything happened.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe anything that was happening basically.
Well, also another thing I find interesting too is if he's a drone pilot, he's an officer, but they make it seem like everyone is above him, when in reality, there'd be a ton of people below him.
Yeah.
You just don't, become an officer out of nowhere and get no respect.
Well, apparently in this world you do.
Right? That's the future. I mean, I did like how they highlighted something that you don't think about. When it comes to drone pilots, if you do a strike, you're not actually there. You're not flying.
Yeah.
So it's like that disconnect from killing people. It's more like a video game. You just click a button. But if you are a fighter pilot, you're there and you see the carnage and everything.
That might have been one of the few points of the movie that actually kind of worked for me. Was how he kind of treated it like a video game
Yeah.
almost. But then once he actually saw it in person, it all became very real to him. Even though it still didn't quite click with me, I appreciated that they're trying to go there at least.
Yeah. It's like the idea was there, but the execution again was bad. He should have never been paired up with Leo. He should have never been there. This whole thing should not have happened. Like you said, it conveniences just to get the plot moving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just I like when I saw him immediately go down to the little basement area where Leo was at when he first meets him.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of I'm watching this. I'm kind of thinking like, why would they send this guy there? But then Leo says that he asked for him personally.
Yep.
But it's like, so because he made this one mistake, like he thinks that this is the perfect guy 100% for what he needs to accomplish.
Yeah. I think they were trying to hit you. The writer was trying to hit you with a twist. I think
Yeah.
that's what he was trying to do, and it just failed.
Yeah.
He just fumbled that twist.
Yeah, he definitely fumbled it. And in little things too, like at the end when it's like, okay, you got to get out in 30 seconds. We're going to drop this drone strike. Of course, it all comes back to the drone strikes. Only this time, he's the one on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming.
He makes it.
We're going to nuke, or we're going to drone strike this active nuclear warhead.
No.
And you got 30 seconds to get out.
Like, I'm no scientist, but I just assume that if you blow up the bomb goes off. Maybe I'm wrong.
I was saying that exact same thing. So there's a combination of them blowing up this nuclear missile and nothing happening other than a regular explosion.
Yep.
And then on top of that, the person controlling the drone was the person sitting right next to him at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of problems with that. I think for one, I remember just being in the Coast Guard. We couldn't bring our cell phones or do any sort of communication stuff while in the combat room.
Okay.
You just can't.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be someone calling you. That officer, she wouldn't have a phone. Just be like, okay, let me do this.
Yeah.
And if it was, like a secure line or something like that. You just can't dial that from, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then also, and again, so she's an officer too, and she knows the risks. Like, does she really want to lose her job by just? I don't even think drones are attached to each other like that. I don't think someone sitting in I forgot if like L.A. let's say can just click a button and then be like, oh yeah, I'm controlling or viewing the drone footage from another Air Force base or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You would have. I would assume also that. Again, this is just assumption though. Maybe I'm completely wrong that the drone pilot for that actual drone in Ukraine would have been closer to Ukraine and not sitting in the United States just chilling.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, that's something that's above my head.
Yeah,
But
but it makes you wonder.
for me, it was just more so that it was the person that was sitting next to him at the beginning. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
really?
Well,
Like,
who else was he gonna call?
apparently, there's just two drone operators in the
Always
entire
working.
thing.
always sitting there working.
So yeah, that whole aspect of the story, I just
Yeah.
wasn't vibing with.
Well,
And then I want to kind of focus on Leo a little bit
okay.
because as I was watching this movie, I was kind of getting like, okay, so he's this super soldier who's created in a lab, but it's different. He's not a regular super soldier, he's a android.
Yeah.
But I was getting real, like when you first meet him, I was getting real kind of Captain America vibes just with the way he moved and the way because Anthony Mackie plays Falcon, right? In the MCU. So he's Captain America's sidekick, basically. He even has a line in this movie where he says, I can do this all day. And that's Captain America's line.
I had no idea. I went above
And
me. I
so
didn't
so
notice.
there's aspects of this movie I'm like, is Anthony Mackie trying to make his, like, was he kind of thinking like, okay, yeah, this is my own little Captain America thing.
He picked the wrong thing to be Captain
Mixed
America
with
on.
the Terminator. Because I was getting heavy Terminator vibes too.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really mind it. I didn't see Captain America, but then I mean, I don't watch MCU that much or that in depth, so maybe
Yeah.
that's why I missed it. But I think for his character, I think he did fine, Anthony Mackie, when it
Yeah,
came
yeah.
to acting for what he had.
I was cool with Anthony Mackie. I was not a huge fan of Harp.
Mm-mm.
He, like, I understand his character was supposed to be kind of stoic and
Yeah.
but it just didn't really. I could, I don't notice him from anything else that I've ever seen, and I'm not surprised by that. Like he was in a Black Mirror episode and a Twilight episode in 2019. But I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, he just wasn't that good. Not next to Anthony Mackie. Sometimes the better actors could elevate certain actors and stuff like that, but I just was not buying his performance at all.
Yeah. I did find him just when he was on the screen. I just want to get back to Anthony Mackie, really. Like, I'm like, just get back to Leo. That's all that matters right now in the story. What'd you think about I think like the few action scenes that they had? I think they had two, like a gunfight, and then they had like a hand-to-hand combat one. What'd you think about those?
I thought the action scenes were generically fine, basically.
Oh, just nothing.
Well, like I
Nothing
said, a
spectacular.
lot of the action scenes just reminded me of something you would see in a Captain America, like the super soldier, like a little bit stronger than everybody, but still kicks everybody's ass.
Yeah. Well, I thought the one fight was kind of entertaining when he shows his strength, and it's like, okay, now out of nowhere, now you're showing your strength to be a badass. You know?
It was cool, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no complaints there from me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like you read the
It
description, you think there was going to be a little more action, a little more things going on. It was more about, I guess, morals when it comes to this thing.
it was supposed to be, yeah. And then it's like, and then there's the turn where Leo's the bad guy, but it's like, is he the bad guy?
Uh,
Yeah, he is the bad guy.
The issue with that is that's been done so much
Yeah.
with robots. We create a robot to protect us, and then the robot realizes that to protect us, it has to hurt us or destroy us.
Hmm.
Like, this isn't new. It's happened all the time, in movies and shows, and they didn't do anything new with it.
That's kind of how I feel about this whole movie. Is everything I've seen better, and that's just like I said. It just felt like a Call of Duty cutscene. That's
Yeah.
the movie. A 2 hour long Call of Duty cutscene.
Yeah, just going back to just wrap everything up, it just didn't make sense. It's been done. It's just actors. Some of the actors weren't great.
Most of the actors were great. Even the actors that you recognize. Maybe it's just the dialogue wasn't very good, or whatever it was. It just
Possibly. I don't know.
it seemed like they like, okay, we got 3 weeks to shoot this film, so we're doing no second takes.
Right? Yeah. Do we have a budget on this?
Um,
Just out of curiosity, I want to know if they're working on a small budget or a time crunch, like something.
I don't know how much. I don't know if Netflix releases that kind of stuff. I'm not
They
sure.
do not. From
Yeah.
my quick search. Yeah, but then a lot of people on IMDb, rating, 5.4. So, I think everyone kind of agrees that it wasn't great. It's what you expect from Netflix originals. And that's so sad that what you expect is just going to be just these watered down movies. It's like they come with good ideas and good intentions and then they just fail.
Hmm.
Maybe it's because they already have a deal. Maybe they don't need the money. I don't really know what it is. I don't know why
They just
Anthony Mackie picked this movie either.
That's one thing I was thinking. I literally thought during this movie, I'm like, I wonder why the actors chose to do this movie. Like, what was it about this movie that? I mean, it's a
Well,
paycheck, so
but we can tell for the other actors, like
some
the
of
ones that
them,
we don't see too often. It's like, oh, they're trying to break out, and so.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but for Anthony Mackie, I mean, he doesn't need. I don't think he needs to break out. I don't think he needs to accept these movies. Maybe he's just friends with some of these people.
I don't know. He might have trouble fighting like leading man movies and stuff. So,
This
but
is
he
true.
he, he was the best part of this movie for me,
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
it did not save this movie at all.
Nah, I have friends who this movie would talk to. I don't think everybody would be as down as this movie as we seem to be.
Yeah.
But for me, it did not work. I mean,
Well, I think the more movies you watch that are like this, the worse this is going to appear.
mhm. Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
seen a lot of robots trying to save the world.
And I honestly don't really watch a whole lot of like standard kind of action movies. A lot of the action movies I do watch are more the superhero kind, and like I haven't even seen like I just rented John Wick 3 to watch for the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie just
Well, it's not really.
generic Netflix action movie.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even call it an action movie. They're trying to push morals and decency, and basically, it was trying to say that the United States is terrible, always,
Hmm.
in other people's business and prolonging wars to benefit, themselves, and they need to stop. I mean, that was the overall message,
Yeah.
and I mean, it could be true, but I mean, make a better movie about it.
I got a feeling because Netflix has come out and said that they're releasing a new movie every week in 2021. I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of these.
I guess, quantity over quality is what they're aiming for, and
Hmm.
I
Like
mean, it could work.
like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that all the major studios are creating their own streaming services, so Netflix has
Yep.
to start creating all their own content. And I think that they're just kind of rushing stuff out the door to have stuff out there, basically. But that's kind of always been Netflix's MO. 80% of their stuff's crap, with occasional like awesome show or movie here and there. But
Yeah, I think they do better with shows than they do with
yeah,
Netflix movies.
hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's all I got. If you have anything else,
No, I don't.
All right, so that's all we have. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon, and we'll be coming out with more movies soon.
If you like, if you like video game cutscenes, this movie's for you.
Just don't watch it. Cancel Netflix. That's all I got to say. All right, we will see everyone next.